What is up, Square Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we're actually going to be talking some tech. Normally I'd have like a video podcast uploaded for you guys on a Monday, but Matt, my co-host, was feeling a bit under the weather this weekend, so I gave him the night off essentially, and I want to talk about something that tech-wise that was very highly spoken of, or there was a lot of hype around it when it was first revealed, but I haven't really seen it get a lot of play in recent weeks. I know that there's kind of like an off season right now. I know a lot of hype is going into the new set, say Realm of the Gods, so I know there's not really a lot of movement going on right now, but I wanted to talk about a specific card and compare it to its counterpart that's been around for a long time. So back in set, actually this just came out in the most recent set 15, Insane Showdown, we got a new yellow extra card, a new floodgate, so to speak, in Forbidden Power, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen here for you guys to check it out. Really good card in my opinion. It's a one-cost yellow extra card, counter attack. If your leader card is yellow, your opponent can only attack with battle cards one more time for the turn. So it's essentially a floodgate. It kind of shuts off your opponent from going wide with battle cards, which is nice for yellow. If you don't have access to robotic riposte as a yellow floodgate, this is a nice, budget option, so to speak. And it does have a secondary skill, activate battle, for one yellow. If your leader card is yellow and it's your turn, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. Switch it to rest mode, then choose up to one of your yellow cards, and it gets plus 10k power for the battle. So it's a very watered down version of Vegeta's Final Flash, because it does give you that 10k, even though Final Flash does give you the 15 and also shuts off your opponent's skills. But you don't necessarily have to target, you don't have to have a target to rest, because you could choose up to one, so you could choose 0 and still get that 10k as like a pseudo super combo, not super combo because you're not drawing, but it is a 10k for one energy, and it does have that counter effect, that counter attack effect defensively as well. So obviously, when we look at this card on paper, its direct comparison is going to be Flying Nimbus. For the longest time, Flying Nimbus has been the yellow floodgate in extra card form, and we got it back in set 3. So Flying Nimbus has been around for a very, very long time. It did lose a lot of its illustrious play or illustrious power when unisons were introduced, because it gave your opponent a secondary way of attacking, kind of getting under Nimbus, not having to worry about battle cards essentially. So Nimbus did fall out of favor a lot, and it was replaced by a lot of these other cards. Power of a Super Saiyan came out, even though it's not a floodgate, still a very strong card. And then Mecha Frieza Robotic Riposte just is the yellow staple for floodgates. But if you don't have $30 to $50 lying around to pick up robotic riposte, I think Forbidden Power is a very good option. I think it's very slept on. I think the last time I checked on TCG Player, it's running for like $1 or $2. And moving into set 16, Realm of the Gods, yellow is going to get a lot of very interesting tools. We obviously have the Zamasu Wish deck that's going to be coming out, but we also have the Future Trunks and Vegeta deck that's going to be coming out, and we have a looming ban list approaching. So we don't really know the exactitude of what Bandai is going to do in the upcoming ban list, but there's an ongoing consensus in the community that yellow needs to be addressed in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if that's going to be like a hit to Poutine, or like a hit to Power of a Super Saiyan, or like a semi-limit, or like a limit. We don't really know what's going on, but I think yellow is going to be addressed in some facet. So I think now is a good time to jump on the Forbidden Power bandwagon, because you don't need a unison to have it in play. Okay, to activate it. It's just your standard pay 1 yellow and do this. Like, it's a very good extra card. It's a very good floodgate in my opinion. It's similar to Dormant, but Dormant does get that secondary effect of popping your opponent's battle cards 2 or less, and also be able to activate for free if you control a unison. However, Dormant does neg 1 out of hand, and so does Nimbus. So here's the kicker, or here's the icing on the cake for me. The reason I like Forbidden Power more than Flying Nimbus, obviously, is because it doesn't specify what needs to be attacked with. Like Nimbus specifically states that they can only attack with one more battle card for the turn, right? So it's very similar in shutting off a a go wide strategy when it comes to battle cards, but it says one more battle card. So your opponent can attack with a battle card, and then you flying Nimbus, and then they can attack with one more battle card, their unison, and a leader. So Forbidden Power has that similar effect because your opponent can only attack with battle cards one more time this turn. So it has that similar effect as Nimbus, to where they're equal in that aspect, but you don't have to pitch a card for Forbidden Power. So really, when you're looking at it, they do the exact same thing, but Nimbus has a higher cost because Nimbus, you have to discard a card in order to activate that floodgate effect. Like it could be just used as a straight counter to negate the attack, but if you want to get the floodgate, you have to pitch one, right? Now, on the opposite end, Forbidden Power doesn't negate or doesn't counter the initial attack. So the initial attack still goes through, right? In that way, it's similar to Dormant Potential. And then you have the floodgate for the rest of the turn, but you don't need to discard in order to activate the floodgate. Like the floodgate is part of its counterattack timing. So it's really only going to cost you the one energy and the one card out of hand. Whereas Nimbus, yeah, Nimbus is a hard negate for one attack, but the floodgate option on Nimbus is going to cost you a card. So you kind of have to pick and choose what you feel is the better effect, or the more efficient effect, I should say, because they essentially do the same thing. However, Nimbus is going to cost you one extra card from your hand, and by extra card, I just mean another card. I don't mean an actual extra card. It's going to cost you another card out of your hand in order to activate the floodgate effect. Whereas, yes, Forbidden Power is not stopping the initial attack, but its floodgate is online once you tap that one energy. Not to mention the versatility of Forbidden Power, because it could be used offensively on your turn as, like a pseudo super combo or a pseudo 10k combo, and also putting into rest mode one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. There's no energy restriction on what you can choose to put into rest mode, which is nice. And being able to ignore barrier is also very nice, but at worst, it's going to be just a one-cost 10k combo. So in my opinion, there are merits to having both. Obviously, Flying Nimbus is not going to get addressed as part of the yellow ban in the upcoming list. So, if you guys prefer Flying Nimbus, it was reprinted as an uncommon foil in Battle Evolution Booster. So if you want to go grab them, they're super dirt cheap. Like if you want a foil version of Nimbus, you also have the old Anniversary Box foils, or you have just a regular non-foil printing. So there's definitely an abundance of Nimbuses in the market for you to get. But if you're looking for another option, if you're looking for something that's not going to cost you another card out of hand, that essentially is going to do the same thing but also give you offensive and defensive versatility, I think Forbidden Power is a really good option. Because not only is it super affordable, you could definitely get a playset for under $10, but we don't know what yellow cards are going to get addressed on the ban list. Like, I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. Like, even though yellow is arguably the best color right now in the game and will probably be the second or the first or second best color moving into the next format with Realm of the Gods. I mean, I still think red's going to be probably the #1 color in the game at that point, followed by yellow. So yellow's probably going to be a close second. So just being able to grab like a good amount of yellow, just good cards for dirt cheap, I think is a no-brainer at this point. You can go on TCG Player right now and get a playset of Forbidden Power for less than $10 as I'm recording this video. I don't think it's gonna hike in price or anything like that. I don't think it's gonna shoot up like we've seen certain videos or certain cards shoot up after a video was made on it, with buyouts and stuff like that. There's a lot in the market, there's a lot of listings, there's a lot available. It's not a hard card to come by, especially because it has an SR and SPR printing. So if you want to get the shinier one, you want to get the nicer looking one, you have options. That's why the SR is so affordable, because there are multiple printings of this card. But I think it's just a good idea to make the initial investment, even though it's very minuscule, and just have them, because you never know what's going to happen. And people panic buy things a lot of the times. Like, as soon as ban lists are hit, you know, the market fluctuates a lot. Like, if cards either come off the ban list or go on the ban list or get limited or whatnot, there's usually a lot of movement in the market. There's usually a lot of fluctuation in the market because people are trying to get their hands on cards, especially older cards, to help further their new strategies. Like, for a perfect example, this new Future Trunks deck that's coming out, there's a 1-drop, I think it's like Dependable Saiyan Trunks from like set 7. Is it set 7? Yeah, from set 7. I think it's like set 7. Yeah, set 7. It's a 1-drop. Look at the top 3 for a yellow Saiyan, add to hand. That's it. Like, that card, I've had them forever, at least the non-foil versions, but that card, the foil version, spiked when like Future Gohan was announced. And now that the Future Trunks deck with the Future Trunks deck that's coming out in set 16 is going to be able to access that card as well and benefit from it, it hiked up again. Obviously, you could probably get the non-foil versions for very cheap, but it's an older card, so it might be a little harder to come by. So that's why I'm saying, like, you know, even though, yes, set 16 did get pushed back and is probably not coming out until March, and Saiyan Showdown is still out right now, you don't know what it's going to look like when March rolls around and how many of these cards are going to be in circulation. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather get ahead of it, be preventative as opposed to reactive, and try to get your hands on this card as soon as you can, because you never know. It might get a lot more play. It might have a lot more playability moving into a newer format, especially when we don't know what tools are going to be available for us at that point. So basically, all in all, I think it's a decent card. I don't think it's like make or break. Obviously, if you have the coin to pick up Robotic Riposte, that's definitely the floodgate you're going to want for yellow. But if you can't, if you're more of a budget player like myself, or if you like to cater more to a budget style, or you're just like a local hero and you don't really go out to big events, I think Forbidden Power could get the job done. I think a well-timed Forbidden Power, you know, off a leader swing or a unison swing, you know, activating Forbidden Power, they're only going to get 2 more swings off of you. I think that's totally fine. Not negating it outright is kind of meh, but having the extra versatility of being an activate battle offensively as well for some barrier hate is nice. So it's just a cheaper option. Like, yellow has a lot of very good power cards right now, especially extra cards. You know, you have Final Flash, you have Power Super Saiyan, you have Frieza Army Reinforcements, which is a great, you know, counter as well. So yellow just has a lot of really good extra cards. I think Forbidden Power isn't there yet, and who knows, depending on how the format shifts and where we move into set 16, we could see a lot of increased playability for this card. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you been playing Forbidden Power since its release in Saiyan Showdown, or have you just been sticking your guns to Nimbus and Robotic Riposte? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything No Counters, No Combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.